Happy Friday, dear children. It is time for painting. And I think that you are so grown up already to help your parents set up for painting yourselves. So, you know, everything that we need. We need our painting boards. We need our water jars filled with water all the way up to here. So you can help your parents to do that as well. We need our little sponges and a little blanket for Mr. Peter Paintbrush and his little pillow. And I'm not sure whether you're going to have this little paint jar holder at home or not, but if you have something similar, you also need that to be the home of your painting jar. So this is how we set up at school, and that's how I would like you to set it up at home as well. So we can sing our song as you get yourselves ready. Rainbow, rainbow, all around the world you go. Come into my color ball. Give me of your colors all. Give me of your shining glow. Here's my paper so shiny and bright. Fold your hands and hold them tight. Here is our paper so shiny and bright. Fold your hands and hold them tight. The angels of the light have brought us today our beautiful yellow. So let us see if we can do our verse together before we begin to paint. I'm not sure if you can see all my gestures. A little bit higher, and then I will adjust the camera once again. All together. Help me, angels of the light, that I may try with all my might, that from my paper shall arise the lovely colors of the sky. We can try once again. I'm going to try to squat a little bit so that you can see the whole movement, but you know very well, right? Just pretend that Miss D is standing tall and true. And here we go, hands in our hearts. Help me, angels of the light, that I may try with all my might, that from my paper shall arise the lovely colors of the sky. There once was a little man who went on a walk in the forest. All the earth was still at the very beginning of spring, and there was a little bit of snow on the ground. So he entered into the forest and he looked around, and the trees had branches covered still with snow, and the floor of the forest, the ground of the forest was covered with shimmering and glistening little crystals of snow. Everything was white, quiet, and precious. Just then the sun began to rise, and as it rose in the horizon, everything turned so golden and so bright. And the little man thought to himself, "Oh, if I could only have a paintbrush, I could paint this whole golden forest all by myself." And he walked around and looked, and he walked by a beautiful, quiet blue stream. The stream was flowing and dancing with waters that had just awoken for spring. And he walked some more and he wondered. Just then he came across a very tall and old oak tree. And the oak tree heard his cry, and he bent down one of his most tender branches and said to himself, "Dear little man, please take one of my twigs, the straightest and the tenderest, for you to make a paintbrush out of." The little man was in awe and quite surprised, and so he did. He took one of the straightest, smoothest, yet strongest twig, and thanked the oak tree with all his heart, and off he went. in search for more. As he walked more deeper and deeper into the forest, a little pony came by, galloping, galloping so merrily, and said to the little man, "Dear little man, you can have some hair from my mane, so that you can make your paintbrush and paint our golden forest." Oh, the little man was in so much joy and caressed the little pony so, very gentle stroke his mane, and as he did, little hairs of his mane tangled in his fingers, and so he wrapped them around so gently and thanked the pony so, and the pony nodded his head and galloped away, and so he put his little hairs in his pocket and went on. So he sat down very quietly, and with the little branch and the little pony hair, he bundled it all up and made the most beautiful paintbrush, so soft. Just then, Father's son saw his joy and could not help but rise way up high in the horizon and shone his golden beams of light through the branches of all the trees in the forest, and everything he saw was turned into bright, bright golden, golden, golden yellow. And so the little man was so grateful to Father's son and decided to paint his picture. So he dipped down his little paintbrush in the blue stream with fresh running waters, and as he did, the sun shone down and everything turned gold, gold, gold. Dearest sun, now shine from the sky so blue. Give the whole world warmth and light too. La 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 la. And the little man was thrilled with joy after he saw his beautiful picture and decided to go back home. So he cleaned his little brush so well. He squeezed dry his little feet so well. Give me one back. He squeezed dry little feet and gave him a little pillow to sleep on and dry his feet also. And a little blanket for him to sleep in. And he decided to name him Mr. Peter Paintbrush. And ever since, he's been painting with Mr. Peter Paintbrush every Friday morning, just like us. Now it is time for our hands to rest. They have done their work. They have done their best. So we know how to clean up now, dear children. You can help your parents to do so. So first of all, we want to make sure that Mr. Peter Paintbrush is rinsed very gently with a little soapy water, and we'll let it dry, laying down just so on top of the little towel on his own little rack. So Mr. Peter Paintbrush goes back to sleep, and after he does that, we take our little pillow. We'll make sure that our garden is nice and neat, that there is no paint anywhere around, so that the fairies that come to clean don't have to do extra work. And the angels of the light always appreciate that as well. And so if there is a little bit of water on the table, we use a painting rag also just to clean around. And so we take the water and put it away. Just pour it somewhere in your kitchen sink. And you can leave your water painting dry on top of that table if that is a space that you're going to let it dry on, or you can bring it somewhere else and let it dry flat just like this. We don't want to tip it over, because if we do, we know already what happens to our painting. The watercolor runs down the stream and it becomes very, very messy. And so that is the end of our painting lesson today. Maybe next week we will paint with a different color. And I hope you had a great time, because I sure did. Bye for now, my beloved children.